Hello everyone. Welcome to our tutorial video on how to properly flash, run, and test our first AI model with the GPX-10 DVK. Before we start, please make sure you have your SDK installed. If not, you can go to the Ambient Scientific website, go to the Products menu, scroll down about 3/4 of the way, and find yourself staring at the Request SDK button. Clicking it and filling in this form will send an email to you in about 30 seconds with our latest version of the SDK, where you can follow the documentation provided to install the SDK. Or, you can click in the video in the description, or on the right-hand side, to find the tutorial video on how to download the SDK and install it properly. Once that's done, you will find yourself looking into the Eclipse folder. This is our IDE, where we'll be running and testing our first wake-word application model given with the SDK from Ambient Scientific. Once you're here, you want to import our project, so we'll go into Existing Projects into Workspace, select the root directory, hit Browse, and then you want to go into your C drive. In your C drive, you'll see this new folder called Ambient Scientific, which is installed with the SDK. From Ambient Scientific, you want to go to Setup, to Chip, FW, and Applications. In the Applications, you'll see one CNN Alexa wake word model. You want to double-click this. You'll see another called Project. You want to double-click this, and then you'll hit Select Folder, and we can finish this off. Fantastic. Now our folder is now imported into our Eclipse IDE. We can right-click, and we can hit Clean. Now in the console log, we sometimes may or may not receive this output. In the end, we want to make sure that we see 0 errors and 0 warnings. But if it took about 10 seconds and you see no output, you can go ahead and build your model anyways. So the building process will take less than 1 minute to complete, and in the end, we should see maybe about 20 to 25 warnings. But don't worry about it. As long as we get 0 errors, we're all good to go. The warnings come primarily from our compiler side talking to our GPX chip, so nothing is to worry about. Just have to make sure we have 0 errors. We should receive 0 errors at the end of the build. Excellent. The build is finished. Took about roughly 1 minute. We have 0 errors and 24 warnings. Fantastic. Now we want to run our model on our GPX DVK. We can right-click our project folder and go to Debug As, and then go to Debug Configurations. From this menu, you want to go down to your JLink debugging. This is the one that we previously made. You only have to make one debugging instance for each model. I'll delete mine, and I'll create a fresh one. So we'll go to Project. Project should be selected as the Alexa Wake Word CNN project, and then select C/C++ application. We will load an ELF file. This ELF file is created every time we clean and build our project. Every single time we'll get a new one. Now, we'll go to our Applications, into our Project folder, once more into our project, and then we'll go to our Debug tab. We'll scroll down and we'll see 3 files that were newly updated. All 3 are at 402, 402, 402. It just updated about a minute to 2 minutes ago. For debugging purposes, you always want to use ELF file when within Eclipse. When using EdgeSphere, you can load the full application and flash it so you can use it offline using the bin file. Since we're debugging, we want to go to ELF. We can open this, and you only have to set the following settings once. Device name should be Cortex M4, as given in the documentation. Interface should be selected as JTAG. Everything else could be left the same. We'll go to Startup and absolutely make sure that RAM application is selected. Then we can go and hit Apply, and we can hit Debug. Now, while that process is happening, we want to go to our Device Manager and make sure that we have our COM port selected properly from our DVK. At this point, if not mentioned before, you should have your JTAG and your micro USB both connected to your computer or laptop. If you go to your ports, you can go to COM3, and we know now that we are enabled properly. We can go to our terminal window, which will open up our little serial console. Make sure you choose the terminal as Serial Terminal. COM4 is selected correctly at COM3,
and our baud rate should be 9600. The rest of these settings should remain default. We can now click OK. Fantastic. Our terminal is now running and ready for our project to actually run.
We'll hit this resume button on the top, and we can now say our wake word, which is Alexa. So I'm right next to my board, and I will say, Alexa, Alexa, Alexa. Fantastic. We can now stop the project and we can disconnect the serial terminal. This is how you flash, test, run your first AI model within the Ambient Scientific DVK and SDK. If you have any questions, please leave it in our comment of this video, and we will get to them as quick as possible. Thank you.